All right, you ready for another Splinterlands and Peak Monsters update for rental and some updates to Peak Monsters as well. So I'm going to share some things that are new here on Peak Monsters. All right, here it is. If you click here on the SPS airdrop page, you'll be able to see some airdrop tools. Obviously, I want to share some stuff that's going on with the rentals and kind of recap and help people understand how to rent and how to rent out. But I wanted to show this page real fast. It talks about the airdrop that Splinterland started a week ago. And we are already on the 7th day. There's only 365 days. The next airdrop's in 10 hours, and this is how much is airdropped every day. All right, the next section is just kind of some token information about the token itself, not so much about the airdrop, but about the token, what the market cap is, what the present price is, how much is staked. And we have given a couple of interesting numbers. The APR, not the APY, which is much higher than this, but the APR that a person would get from staking tokens. And then also we took the price of DEC, and if you were to buy DEC, what that would end up being as an APR. So, and then we're looking at a wallet. You can kind of look at any wallet you want, just change the URL, and it will tell you, kind of what your last airdrop was and maybe the estimation of your monthly earnings. And this is what Splinterlands will tell you, but we show that again and we give you a little bit more information. Also, you can add in multiple accounts if you're logged in, that sort of thing. All right, so back to rentals. We are logged in with an account called Fun Tamed, which is purely a rental account. And we have, if we go to bulk view, we can see that there's 67 cards rented. And I want to point people out here. This delegated to section will tell you how much longer you'll have these cards delegated. So for example, I only have this one for 7 more minutes. It is time for me to make sure I keep that Crustacean King because I like playing with that card. So if there's any others, I want this one for another day or two. This one. And yeah, the Boogeyman. I want all of these cards. All these are multiple days. I'll kind of re-rent them if I continue to play. But those are the ones that are under 1 day that I continue to want. Yeah, so there's one other fun thing to do is check the rentals right here. And you'll be able to see the difference. So I'm renting it for 90. The next cheapest is 194. So you can also sort this. So maybe I'm not interested in re-renting the Bright and Bloom because I could rent it for 50 and I'm presently renting for 57. But 16% is not a huge deal. It's but I'm getting some really good deals on what I'm paying. Obviously this one I'm renting for 5 and the next lowest is 300. That basically is just a statement that there aren't many on the market. So there's just not many on the market. What we need from Splinterlands to do this site better is an API that will give us information about what is presently rented. So we can look at all those cards that are rented and help owners and renters understand pricing a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to go back to extend these rentals by 91. Well, by 3 days, it's going to cost me 91 DEC. The fun thing is I'm making 100, 120 per win. So that's pretty fun. It's pretty rough going, though. It's pretty hard, in my opinion, to level up these days. I found that really got to have some good summoners, and those come at a premium. These are the summers that I have. And one fun thing here is just look, I actually probably don't want this guy anymore because I rarely use him. It seems like I'm mostly using the Play-Doh. But I do have a very significant red team, so I'm going to keep both of those. I just went with the cheapest water, earth, life. The life one is interesting because I only have a legendary. Death, I have a pretty great one, and it was pretty inexpensive at the time that I rented. And then I went with the Dragon Bright and Bloom, which has been great for any earthquake matches. So I just went with one dragon. So I don't know. These are all max, and I am still in gold. And the reality is that it's taking a very long time to get out of gold. So I started in gold 2, went down to gold 3, and I'm now just working my way up, and it's just taking forever. There's so many new players that it often matches me with lower people, and if I ever lose to them, I lose big. I went down 32 rating here, so I went up quite a bit on this last one, so we're good. I also wanted to claim some rewards and then relist them on the market real fast. It's taking a moment here. Give it a moment. All right, let's hope for some good things and not too many potions. Oh, look at that. Not shabby. That was from playing. Let's take a look at Bila. So we're going to log into here. We're going to look at my bulk view and check those that I own. Okay. So I'm trying to sell these. If we're going to change price, I don't know what the best price is, so we're gonna remove for a second, because sometimes it's just easier to take all 4 of these, click, 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 and we are going to sell them. But we're going to sell them based off of the low buy price. We're just going to go down -1% of whatever anything else is listed for. And pretty awesome that it lists all these for you. And we're going to get $13 perhaps out of that one. We'll just let it, earn some money over time, I guess. A recap here on the rental system. Last season, I started playing with just a couple days, with a week left in the season, and I made it up to champs with a purely rental deck. I started with 20,000, went down to 16,000, 17, I can't remember. Went back up to 25, perhaps 20, and then the season rewards took me up to 20. I can't remember the numbers. There's a bunch of videos to show them. 27. But what we're saying is, with 20,000 to start with, I could take out those 20,000 and I would have 16,000 DEC. So I am up 16,000 DEC. In fact, I should take out the 20,000 from this account because the reality is I don't need the original, loan from my other account. So I'm up to 16,000 or 36,000. And if you want to see the value of my cards, we're not going to do owned. I am renting 941 a day, just 941 DEC a day. So that means like 9 wins to earn. If I win 9 times in a day, I've already earned everything back. And that doesn't count my daily quest that sometimes can get me $13 a $13 card. So pretty awesome. We're going to see if we can extend my streak here and have you join with me. There are quite a few people playing these days, so the seeking the enemy doesn't really take terribly long. So I'm going to try to impart some strategy. It looks like I'll be playing fire because it's up close, and I have 30, which is quite a bit when you can only use melee monsters. So I think I'm going to jump in hard with that. And I like this Phineas Rage. Really great because it has reach, and it's a good buffer one at 11. So I may reach behind the exploding. We'll see what else I come with. The high mana stuff, I just go level by level and see what it is maybe I could use. Perhaps I could, man, there's just, okay, I've got to use this guy and probably this guy. I may end up using him, but I've got 2 more spots. I don't have a good Serpentine Spy. I thought I rented one, but sometimes they get taken before I can take them. That's one thing you want to look into is, I mean, that happens. Sometimes you try to rent a card and it gets rented out before you pay for it. So let's try a 3 and a 2. Ouch. 3 and a... do any of my guys have armor? Doesn't really help to do something. None of my guys have armor, so using that armor dude is not helpful. I just maybe need to use a... Oh, that reach guy is terrible as well. So we're going to reach behind him. And then, level... This is just a throwaway card, really. There's nothing really I could use, so... sadly, it looks like 28 mana on that one. Hopefully it's enough. Maybe I could have explored using another splinter, but I'm really liking the red. Also, my water is not strong, so I'm going to... Ooh, Holazar is a good player, good deck, great cards. Probably doesn't play a ton, but we're going to see if I can get off my... He may beat me to the punch and kill my guy. So we'll see if I can get out a... Yeah, I got a 7. Oh, 6 speed. Oh, I got it off. And hopefully he retaliates. He did not. So I think I lost. Oh, he lost. I should have showed you that whole thing. 44 gets me up and into gold 1. And we're going to try for a new quest because my water splinter is not good. I don't have a good summoner or anything. So death, back to what it was previously, and I can't try again. Obviously, I want it to be red because that's my strong suit. And all right, how much into... We're only 7 above gold 1, so we really need to win this next one, or we're going to drop back into gold 2, which is... This is kind of where it's worrisome when you're at this level. All right. Is there anything else new while we're waiting for that? I should show you this. If you are an owner, let's log out, go into my owner account. At the beginning of a season, the amount of cards rented, obviously it's loading quite a few. I'm going to get back to that in a moment because I got to do this. So with level up, I try to put as many cards that have low mana and high cost. Do you understand that? Low mana, high cost. And so I also like putting in dragon because I have a couple... I have at least one dragon that is in that scenario. Also, where else do I have a high... I've got to fill up 46 mana. And so I look here. I have a decent amount of high cost things here. So I would probably go with red. Let's be honest. Let's do this guy followed by this guy, and this guy. Except I shouldn't put that one. So now I can use just simple math here. 10 more points. So I can do a 6 and a 4. Okay. And a 4. Let's see. 6 and a 4. Always great to have a scavenger. Always great. Okay, so scavenger maybe right there. Boom. I didn't even check the mana because I was just trying to use all 46 of my points. All 46 of my mana. So, yeah, it's going a little bit faster. These high mana games, you never know, they may have quite the deck. So he's got a high mana deck or a high magic deck. Let's see what his magic abilities are going to be. Ouch, ouch, not too bad. And he didn't put him over here in the second position, which is quite weird. I actually don't know. Immunity doesn't seem to matter. He's going to get enraged pretty quick, which means it's going to take him a little longer to get pushed down. They're all at 12. So this could be pretty rough because this guy's not really capable against magic. Is going to hurt him pretty bad. All right, well, we got through the first one. Oh, and a miss is huge on that. The speed is really coming into my favor. Just the ability to hit him first. Oh, come on. Survive. Survive. Good, good, good. Oh, I missed. That is not great. Oh, okay. Keep it going. Keep it going. Full steam. Yeah, we get through one guy and this guy won't be able to fight anymore. So, looks pretty good. Oh, and a miss was not good. Boom. All right. There's the end. We went up. We're safely 27 points into Gold 1. All right, so going back to this for owners that may be interested, we are going to show, well, first of all, it was at 24, and then the beginning of a season, it dropped like a rock because people stopped renting. Towards the end of the season, it's more expensive. The beginning of the season, it's less expensive. There were some changes on Splinterlands that are going to make the market have to adapt at the end of the seasons. People are going to need to make sure they have collection power to, so you can't run multiple accounts and rent for a few days, bring them up, rent for a few days, bring them up, and then get the season rewards for all of them, because you need to make sure that there's cards in that deck at the end of the season. So there will be less exploiting by people that try to run many accounts using the rental system. And some people are frustrated by the lack of ability to exploit and think, oh, well, there's going to be rental costs are going to go way up. I'm like, yeah, that's at the end of the season, rental costs may go up because of those that, primarily because of those that want to exploit the system by running many accounts. And that's not really an exploit. It's just, and I guess it could be in some people's minds, but it doesn't mean that there aren't people that will be affected that aren't trying to exploit because of all those other people that are, and they want to grab some gold cards to increase their collection power. Anyway, so that's just a commentary about the price movement. I could look at all of my cards that are on the rental listing but not delegated, and I could check those and see which ones have the worst pricing, right? So 13.5. So actually, one of the interesting things to do is to take all of these, and actually I'll filter it. So I'm missing out on pricing, right? So I'm barely not the highest price. So sometimes doing this for rent, not delegated, and a mismatch below 1%. So I'll find all those cards that are barely not the highest price. And I am going to take all of these, maybe up to the I guess 30% ones. Maybe not the gold one, because I know it's going to raise pretty soon. I'm going to take all of these and I will change the price on them so that I'm not changing them by much, but it's going to be a little bit better. So I hit that load and it's going to reprice all these things for me. So, and then I will confirm. And right now, Splinterlands API, I mean, there's a lot of things that we've requested, but we know that they're super busy. So it's totally all right. And, but we can't do this action in bulk. So when they can change the underlying protocol, we'll hopefully be able to do this action in bulk. So for the time being, I've got to confirm each of those 29 myself. So 29 because there were duplicate monsters. So we can batch, we can bulk the monsters together. So the same monster, I should say. All right, that took a moment to change the prices on those. But we can refresh. And when you refresh, you're going to have to redo the check the rental market again. Oh, I'm checking everything. It's going to take forever. Okay. I could change these ones, but when the prices that are 99% are just ridiculous. So I lowered some of my prices to match those. The other thing is I'm going to raise some of my prices, but these 99% ones just are basically an indication that there are no cards available. In any case, let's do this. Let's go for cards that are for rent and maybe not delegated. And we're going to go for those that are above by 1%. Oh, that did not work. Oh, because I have this listed. Okay, so we want to do 1%. That was weird. Let's try 1% here. Okay, disregard that, I guess. None of my cards are listed for lower. I don't need to change prices on any of them, apparently. So there we go. But I could look at these higher ones. Yeah, I just double confirmed that I don't have any cards that I need to raise prices on, the ones that are not delegated, which makes sense. So let's look at the ones that are delegated out. So these are my 1,700 cards that are presently being rented. And there are people paying an insane amount for these cards. I don't even know how I listed it for 9 and why they got it and why they're still renting it, but they're going to be done in 55 minutes. So super strange, just a holdout from last season where people were doing some strange stuff. And they're not using peak monsters, and if they were, they would see that they're spending way too much money on my rentals. Just way too much. Now let's go the other direction, and it seems like I could raise my prices, but these aren't real prices. It just means that there's a lack of cards available, really. So it's hard to judge there. These 90% stuff are kind of useless to change. Something around this maybe is. It's just hard to use these tools when there are so few cards presently available on the market, and we do not have an API to see what other cards of the same type are being rented for. So, in my personal opinion, I would go rarity by rarity and look to see if you're renting cards for 0.78 that are legendary. You can open up another browser and go to the rentals market and look at just legendaries and see what the cheapest legendary available for rent is 2. So it makes these ones look incredibly too cheap. So we're going to take all of these legendaries. Maybe we'll do all the 1.3s and below, and we are going to stop renting those. And then I'll come back in a day after these rentals and relist them. So I just should not be renting for that low. So now we're looking at some more. And I'm for sure looking at what's going on here. The Shinlo could probably be rented for more. At 90 makes it seem pretty cheap. And then let's look at my level 4 legendaries and see what my cheapest ones are. I should probably not be renting level 4s for this cheap. And this Fallen Spectre seems to be way more expensive. So we're looking at these prices to help us as well. And the Cthulhu seems to be a more expensive card, but I'm going to keep it there for now. And just a bunch of different ways to get there. You can kind of go rarity by rarity, and you can use different levels as well. So we can look at my level 1s, and we can look at the most expensive that I'm renting out. Level 1 is 5, and it seems like some of these go for way more. So these Eponas are going for way more than 5. So we're going to get rid of most of them, all of them. And especially any summoners, it looks like, are all way more. So these summoners are not. So we're just going to do this right here. Take a few of these. I don't know how many of these would actually get rented out is the issue. And those other ones are pretty close. So we're going to stop renting there. And so I lowered prices on a bunch of things, and now I'm raising prices. And in general, let's look at the price of my summoners. So let's look at my rare summoners, which would be level. I'm going to look at my max rare summoners. And it looks like my prices are pretty low on some of them, especially the Malric. At 61, I don't know. Maybe I'll keep that. The Zentar is too low. I feel like 30% is not terrible. I don't want to lose my rental just for those. I want to see if there's any 7s. I have a lot of level 7 summoners. And it seems like some of them are also way underpriced. And the Ulrics, for sure, are under, well, maybe they're underpriced. This price isn't really helpful. I'm renting one for 65 and then a couple 52. So, and the Malric seems like it could go up as well. Let's look at my 6s. You get the picture. I can see that I'm renting for excessively, like way too low. So I'm raising my prices on some, but it's just because I've been taken advantage of for, I don't know how long, weeks now. People are getting an amazing deal. So we can also look here. Probably the Mother Kaala isn't that great of a card, so It also helps as a owner of cards to understand how popular these things are, how good they are to play with. So apparently Malric is really good to play with. People are liking those quite a bit. 90 to these prices just are, it's just so hard to go off of list prices. It's so hard to go off list prices. One thing is for sure, a beta gold Tyrus seems quite low in price. Like my gold cards are probably just too low. So actually what we're going to do is look at all the golds that I have, and oh, this one's a good price, and relist them. So, and then if you are a renter, what you really need to do is use Peak Monsters to make life a lot easier. So I am going to look at cards that aren't for rent, that aren't delegated. I'm going to refresh. It's going to go through my whole entire collection. Come on. Let's refresh the whole page. Okay. So we're going to do cards that are not for rent and that are not delegated. There we go. 28,000 cards. And then we're going to sort by high-level cards, and it doesn't look like I have any multi-BCX cards available. How about any legendaries? Nope. Just as my way of going through and seeing if there's any cards I should list. No golds, no legendary, and no multi-BCX. I'll just wait for those cards that I unlisted to be ready to be relisted, because you cannot change prices on presently listed cards, which is a request that we've asked of Splinterlands to be able to change, and lots of our users have asked. I hope all of these tips are helpful for playing and for renting. Both things make you money, so maybe worth the time to have watched this video. All right, should we end up with one more game, which I enjoy because I have the Earthquake card. Bright and Bloom is basically the Earthquake card. So it's also a lose all abilities sort of thing, which is going to be interesting, which usually means a high magic game is helpful. And I have a really good card here. We're going to look at my magic cards. So I like this one a lot as a 3 attack, which is great. Doesn't have a high, it doesn't have a high health. This one has a pretty high health, but if I use it, I'm already, most of my mana is being used. I could also use this one, and so I've got a heavy magic attack, and then we're going to use this Shadow Presence and start off with the Furious Chicken. So there we go. What we have in total, I wanted to show here, really is kind of a magic game, in my opinion, when you have back to basics. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 magic, and then we have a couple of buffer. I don't know how that's really going to work out. 6 attack. Let's see how much attack they're going to come at me with and how big their buffer is. So we don't have a huge buffer. The Shadowy Presence is 5. So not big. Some people will play the Giant, but this is a rental deck, and Giants are way too expensive. And they're a lot of mana as well. 5 mana. So on a 16 mana game, that's going to be a little bit difficult. So, all right, we're waiting for a moment. All right, we're going to rumble here. I'm going to talk about their attack. So they've got 5 up here, but as soon as this one goes to the first position, it's going to be pretty useless. Come on. Earthquake took out 1. Dang it. Okay, so one more. Get rid of him. Boom, and now he can attack. There we go. Earthquake was killer on him anyways, so we're on a roll. Maybe I should just do another one while we're on a roll. I hope I'd get the diamond because I have spent the money to rent max level cards. And I did not expect to be 3 or 4 days spending for max level cards when I did not need them. All right, my thinking on this is no magic. I could either make them miss because they're going to be using cards that can miss, because magic can't miss, or try to get my quest done. I think I am going to try to get my quest done. And I love the Cursed Slime Ball with Redemption. And then, I don't know. Here, let me just fill it out. Might as well show you this last game here. Well, I think it may be the last because I don't know how well I'm going to do. So my hope is that they attack this guy quickly. Yep. Boom. And so we're hitting them all for a point. And that wrecks. Hopefully it survives one more round. Scavenge. We just haven't even done our scavenge attacks yet. And missing both of those means I lost. All right. Well, that was a fun way to end, but I was on a roll for quite a while. Hope you enjoyed all the tips, seeing a couple of games, getting some information about the rental market, and all of that. Enjoy your night.